Yeah, it should switch, right? Where's the horses do? Let me get out of your way. You know where the switch thing is?
All right.
Switch the camera.
Okay. The Josie shows 6:30. Let's go ahead and all please rise. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Want to turn it around?
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Appreciate that.
What do you want to do? Is it edit?
Go ahead and open it up. Do you have any
Turn it around.
questions and comments? No? Good. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is going to be the presentation of checks awarded for Christmas decorating contest. If we have anybody, so we should be good. We'll go ahead and take care of that. So we'll go ahead and, Josie, we'll go ahead and get together with them and we'll make a delivery of those.
All right.
It'll be good. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to number 5, and this is the consent of the agenda. First thing on the agenda, Josie provided you a copy of the packet on your right-hand side. So let's go ahead and consider the approval of the minutes.
Mr. Mayor, as all the council members have had access to these minutes via email for several days, I move that we accept the minutes as printed.
I'll second that. Got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Okay, B, consider approval of city attorney's monthly bill.
Mr. Mayor, I make the same motion to pass the bill in our possession for several days. I move that we accept the bill as presented.
A second.
Okay, got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I abstain, Mayor.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And C, consider approval of payment of bills.
Mayor, I'll move that we pay the bills.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Second, Sam? Okay. Second, Claire. Any discussion on this?
Y'all did see those additions that I had.
So she provided them on the left-hand side, the new items, the new additional things that needed to be taken into consideration.
Okay, who approved the minutes?
I made the
You
motion.
didn't, Sam? Okay, that's what I thought, but I double checked. Y'all are moving fast.
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, okay, before we jump into the action items, 2 things I want to go ahead and mention. First of all, I want to welcome Lynette. Welcome to our new finance director. Thank you for joining us here. Look forward. Okay, 6, the action items. I would like to go ahead and put it out there for the council to consider some of the items to go ahead and table. If you can look at your agenda, some of the items that I request for you guys to consider, and then we can add if you'd like to do some more or modifications. The first one would be E. I don't think we have anybody here.
That item will be tabled once we get to it. They're gonna be, this will be tabled.
Well, I was gonna make a list of, I was gonna recommend if you guys wanted to table. So I was gonna provide the items to table, we can make a motion, so we don't have to worry about those things. So,
You wanna name them first
Yes.
and then do a group motion?
that's correct.
Okay.
So E was one. P was another one. S, T, U, V, W, X, and Y. council take a look at those, see if there's any modifications or anything that you would like to add.
Can you read those back, Mayor?
Yes. E, P, S, T, U, V, W, X, and Y.
Mayor, I move that we table action items 6E, P, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y until the January 24th regular city council meeting.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much, appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into the first action item. A, consider and act upon the request for Southwest ISD for joint election on May the 7th, 2022 with City of Lytle. Josie?
Okay, this is something that's done every year. He's not here tonight, he had something else. I would like council to consider approving this, not just this year, but from this time forward to where he doesn't have to go through this every year. He's really good about, the Southwest is really good about doing this for this joint election, but, we have, the school does it, and we don't get a request from them every year, so why should Southwest be singled out? I mean, it's kind of law now that they have to do it, so,
We've been doing it for several years.
a long time, ever since it became law.
It says here to request a joint election on May 7th, 2022. Can we amend that from now on, even though it's on the agenda like this?
Repeat the question, please.
Yeah, it shows, that it's
For this year.
a specific date here, but can we amend it tonight to,
No.
okay, so we have to do it this way.
Okay,
Then I move that we go ahead and allow joint election with the Southwest ISD on May 7th, 2022 with the City of Lytle.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that one?
Just a question, that's only for the part of Lytle that's in the Bear County,
right,
right? Okay, thank you.
Does that apply to early voting?
I know, Bear County handles early voting.
In Bear County, I guess it's Coast County too, but any county, you can go anywhere to early vote.
Yeah, you really can.
But what they're talking about on election day, you gotta go to a specific.
Yeah, and I will tell you, they've had it here for several years, and they've had two or three people here, and they've never had one single voter come in. They sit there all day.
Chelsea, if you, next year, just remember to put it on
Yeah, I'll
For now.
ask them to do that. Okay,
either or, maybe.
yeah,
We can throw it in an agenda and then to, and always do it in the future, so easy. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes, thank you.
Mayor, I'm gonna move to suspend the rules and consider action item 16 at this time.
6N. Okay,
Which one?
Let's consider an act upon redistricting the city council districts based upon 2020 census and adoption of ordinance for redistricting.
okay, I have a motion on the floor, for us to consider that. Do I have a second for us to move it forward? Okay, Sam? Okay. Okay, any discussion on that? All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into 6. Consider an act upon the redistricting of city council districts based upon the 2020 census adoption of ordinance for a redistricting plan. So in front of us, okay, so in front of us, we actually have the opportunity, I know Charles actually provided a handout. We'll open it up here shortly. We also have the others that were considered before, which we had a public notice on, which was Plan C or B and D. So we had those in the table before. Okay, Charles?
Mayor, move that we adopt an ordinance approving Plan D for the redistricting in the city of Lytle, and that we require all candidates to comply with state law requirements of type A general law cities for all future elections.
Second it.
Okay, got a second? Any other discussion?
I'll have to get that wording from you later. Can I have this? So I can give you that.
You can have it.
Fine. Make sure.
Approving Plan D, did you say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Which one do you need us to put up first? What do you want?
I think we're all looking at, that paper right now.
Okay.
I included in the packet, Chief, what Medina County had done to about 20% of the city. They kind of carved us up real nice, gave us 3 commissioners, so, you know, I, going back to December the 13th, when it took a closer look at all the numbers and how the districts are being affected. So we're all experiencing some changes in the districts and we will in future years, but, you know, taking a closer look at Plan B, I'm losing virtually all my previous constituents, and, you know, ideally, I like to retain them. That's why I support Plan D, is that it's, of all the plans, it's probably the most fair. It's fair and equitable. But we're gonna be back here again in 4 or 5 years, once these subdivisions come in and having to take a closer look, once half the population's on the other side of the city, so. Just wanna give the council some numbers to look over, and, if you got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
There's no changes from the deed. It's hard to see the numbers on the map. That's pretty much the same thing as what we actually put together. Is that correct?
Compared to which one there?
The one that we actually put out.
There should be absolutely no check. What's on there, I took that from Mr. Rios's maps and numbers.
So it should match what's here.
Yes, sir.
Council? Any further discussion? Okay, there's no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries forward. We're gonna go ahead and go with Plan D. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and keep going on here. We have some folks that are here visiting us. So, okay, B, we have considered and act upon, update on the proposal of Lytle Chamber of Commerce procurement, installation, maintenance, and digital signs for the city of Lytle. Don't think we have the presenter here.
He said he couldn't make it on Thursday. I did put an email from him in your additional package. That he talked to Tech Stop, telling y'all what he found out from them.
That's correct. Do you know what his expectation was, or based on the Tech Stop information, Josie?
No,
He told me, I don't remember the information, he told me he talked to the church side,
Was it something on location?
You just wondering if Chick's that's okay with it?
Down here at the bottom.
He said TxDOT approved the location and replaced our existing sign. I also asked TxDOT Engineering to evaluate it. They saw no issues or concerns with the signs proposed by Alamo. TxDOT is no longer a concern, is what he said.
So that's the location.
What was brought up on the last meeting, was, we had made a motion for us to gather more information, talk to TxDOT, look at the location, look at the sign specs, see if there was gonna be too bright spots. And so those are a few things on there. So according to that, we're saying what TxDOT said.
Tex said, Brad said they're not a concern anymore. They said as long as it replaces the current sign, it's fine.
It's on our property, so that's what they're gonna say.
So just so I understand this correctly, the Chamber of Commerce, they're proposing that they put this new sign on our property, that we pay for the installation, and that they collect the ad revenue from that sign?
That's what I.
Can we do that?
No.
We cannot do that.
They were gonna collect the revenue from the signs, from, advertisement, and, but we have to pay for it. I don't think that's. I mean, it's. But when they do that, you know.
I think we should wait and talk to Brad again.
I move that we table this till we can get the representative in here to explain all the details to us.
I second.
We have a motion for us to go ahead and table it. I got a second. Further discussion on that? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, appreciate that. Okay. C, consider an act upon the use of, Orange Trade Show Center for Little League registration on January the 15th, 22nd, and the 29th at no cost to Little League. So, Anthony, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Evening council, Ms. Campa, Mr. Kate. For those that don't know me, I'm Anthony Arena with Lytle Little League. So here on behalf of the league to request the use and permission of the community center, the annex, for registration. We have our upcoming season, 2022 season. Normally we have our registration occur at the city park at the concession stand. We've grown. People like to wait till the last minute, and on those days that they come in, the elements are just terrible. They have to wait outside and, in the rain, and it's cold, and so what we're hoping for is if you guys could consider the use of allowing us the use of the community center for that registration.
For the annex.
Yes, annex. Thank you, Mr. President. Yes.
I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and allow them to use the Horse Venture Center for the Little League registration.
I'll second
At no
that, Mayor.
cost. At no cost, right?
At no cost.
Oh, yeah, no cost.
Yeah.
Include that. Oh, we could charge them some.
No, that's the whole reason it's on there.
Right.
He's talking about that Frito pie.
That's it. Yeah.
Jerry has to have one free pie.
Got it.
Per week.
Can't guarantee how fresh
No,
it's
I
gonna
just say,
be,
yeah.
but yeah.
All right. So I got a motion, got a second. Any further discussion?
I'll second it.
Oh, I got a second already.
Okay.
So any further discussion?
Yeah, real quick, I'm just curious, what's our policy with the nonprofits?
One use per month.
Okay, so, is there a way that we can, for the registration period, can we reword that for, the Little League? Because otherwise they're gonna have to come back
Well,
every year.
why don't y'all just look at the policy and as a whole and take care of it that way?
We'll need to
And
bring it back.
that way it won't just single them out, it'll.
Every nonprofit, I mean, I don't know how many, folks, nonprofits in the city have a multi-week registration period, but
Yeah.
the Little League's not going anywhere, thankfully, I hope not.
Not if we, as
We're
long
growing.
as we continue to have
So,
kids,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look at the demographics. We are growing. Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, good, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Got,
One more item.
Yep, got another one. Just stand still right there.
Yes, sir.
Consider an act upon request of renewal contract for the use of the T-ball, baseball, and softball fields and concession stand at John Locke Municipal Park for the 2022 Little League season.
I'll make a motion that we, allow them
Got a motion? Second? Okay,
Right.
both. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
I'll see you guys out at Lytle Little League this year.
When's opening day?
April 6th. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Perfect. Okay, next item, we'll have Beth consider and act upon the bids received for maintenance of city properties.
Okay, I gave y'all a bid tab sheet. We had a very low bid. And I was excited about that, 'cause we were gonna save some money, but he came and looked at the properties. And then over the weekend, he put a note in the night drop, and he emailed me, and he also called me on Monday. He withdrew his bid. So I spent a lot of today and yesterday talking to the next low bidder, which is that SC Lawn Service. He's out of the Divine area. And his bid is $23.75. I did check on some references that he gave me, and they're pleased with him. Of course, he doesn't have a big company or city or anything that he takes care of. It's just pretty much residences right now. But he promised he'd do a good job. He does have insurance. He is the next low bidder. He's got, let me look at his insurance papers. Each occurrence, 100,000. Damage to rented premises, 300,000. Personal limit, and personal injury, 100,000. General aggregate, 200,000. Products, 200,000. So medical expenses, 10,000. And he does have insurance.
Has Tom had a chance to look at that?
Not the insurance paperwork, no.
The other line, is it?
He's out of Divine. His name is Sotero Cruz. C-R-U-Z.
You work for the line,
He's got a Divine address.
or-
He lives on the residential,
County Road 672 Divine.
Who do we have right now?
Right now, we have Mr. Rips, but he did not get it yet. Well, you got the bid tab sheet. The next one would be like 2,700. And then Allsup and Green Acres came in way over those other bids at 4,350 and 4,400.
What are if we make a contract,
Well, they all got copies of the bid specs. So they know what's expected.
if they, break their, contract, obviously we could, if they're not doing a good job, we could,
Well, yeah, I think if their performance gets so bad that I think the council will come back with that. Yes.
Mayor, I'd make a motion that we accept the bid from SC Lawn Service at $2,375 per ton.
I second that.
Okay, got a second? No discussion, the only thing I would ask for consideration with, as an amendment, is based on Tom's review of the agreement.
That's pretty standard agreement, right?
Well, this is a bid, and then,
We only have a contract for maintenance.
yeah, but we haven't drawn it up, and,
Okay.
but they got that in the bid specs.
I'll amend that pending legal review of the contract.
And I will second that.
Thank you.
Amendment.
Appreciate that. Any other further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, appreciate that. He said he's from Divine?
Divine. County Road 672.
All right, G, consider and act upon bids received for street improvement projects.
Y'all, had heard these bids before. I included some stuff that I found, a letter in there from Alamo Heights. I did, talk with our engineer about Fuquay. He is familiar with Fuquay, and, as a matter of fact, I worked on a project in Lockhart with them. And he said they're pretty good, but he said they did have one blemish. One of the streets that they did is not holding up. It's been 2 years and the street's falling apart. So he said there was one blemish on that job. So, I don't know if you want me to check some more on this. I know that nobody's wanting to start until it gets to be March or April on this. They don't like doing hot lay in the winter months.
We've been using Clark Construction.
Right, and there's about $7,500
Yeah.
difference in the bid.
For what it's worth, my father-in-law has been in construction his whole life, he's retired, he said, Fuquay's pretty good.
Council?
Would there be any repercussions if council decided to go with Clark and
Oh,
not?
there could be. I mean, because, we're looking at the lowest responsible bidder. And that's what we're looking at the documentation. Last time it was on the agenda, if you remember, we all asked Ms. Compa to
Yeah.
research these guys.
I put in some other calls, but I didn't get, any return other than Jeff.
So Joseph, you've heard good things about the first one here?
Yeah, like, it was, having breakfast with my father-in-law, he said, don't discount them just because they're the lowest bidder. He's been in construction his whole life. He said that he knows that they're doing pretty good work. He didn't say, he wasn't saying pick them, he was just saying,
Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
and Jeff said, like I said, Jeff said they're pretty good, except that on that one job.
Well, that could be that could be, have to do with drainage, that could be a variety of reasons why.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your father.
Yeah, so if they're generally good, I'm gonna go ahead and make a motion to go with this first company, how do you say that?
Fuquay.
Fuquay?
Fuquay.
Yeah. And that bid.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor.
second that.
You got a second? Further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There you go, Josie. Okay. H, consider an act upon calling an election. Considerar llamar para una elección. Josie.
Okay, it's that time of the year where, we have to call for an election. The period, the true period is January 24th through February 18th, but we usually do it at the first meeting in January. We never had a second meeting before, last year, so we've always done it at the first meeting, so I continue to put it on the first meeting agenda. So, but, the election would be for the purpose of electing aldermen for districts 4 and 5, and a mayor.
Okay.
And that would be for Saturday, May the 7th.
Yes, Charles.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we call, for an election for districts 4, 5, and the mayor this year.
There's a motion. Do I have a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. Okay. All right, consider an act upon hiring tax and permit clerk for city office. Josie.
Okay, I had I had 11 applicants, and after talking with them and stuff like that, narrowed it down to 3, and I had them working during the office just to try them out to see. All of them were flabbergasted at how much there is in this office, but I did have one that stood out. Right now, she's in banking. Melinda Moraida. I'd like to see about starting her at $15 an hour.
That's who you recommend,
Yes,
Melinda Morita.
yes.
$15 an hour
Uh-huh.
and after probation,
Probably an hour, $1 an hour increase.
I move that we go ahead and, go with Melinda Morita at $15 an hour.
I'll second it.
second, further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries forward. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Jay, consider and act upon hiring part-time library employee. Josie, Cassandra's not here. Did she mention anything to you?
No, as a matter of fact, she said in view of all this thing with COVID and what's been going on, that they're okay now and they could hold off for a while.
So can
Did
I
she
get,
tell you anything, Sam?
No, but you get something settled tonight.
Oh, that's right. So you may
So-
wanna put that off, because she didn't.
council, can I ask for us to go ahead and,
I'll table this, item until the regular meeting on the 24th here.
Do you wanna maybe table it or just move it down
At
on
the
the
end?
agenda?
I-
Cassandra gets out of work at 7 today.
Okay, I'll amend that motion to table the item until Cassandra is able to give us her input on this agenda item.
Second.
any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. It's gonna be- All right. L, act upon the appointment of Luis Diaz as a reserve police officer.
I think you missed one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I apologize. I know. See, I put it on tentative. I was supposed to ask him on here. Sorry, something. Okay, consider an act upon hiring part-time animal control kennel technician.
I didn't get very many applicants, apply, but there's one that stood out. He's pretty good, he has that kind of construction background, which can help me do stuff at the facility that needs fixed and stuff like that. And he's been by a couple of times volunteering, and does pretty good work, does good. And his name is Gregory Rivera. He lives here in the city of Lytle. So he's local, down the street from us. It's pretty good. I request that we hire him.
What's the
As a
rate?
part-time contract. $11, right now, I think he's still $11 an hour.
How many hours?
I believe it's still 24 hours per week. So that's
And then
what-
after probation, it goes up $1.
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Of course, I'll be sending them to get basic training as a kennel technician. So,
I second.
Okay, second. Any further discussion on that?
That's for Gregory Rivera.
Santiago, is this in the budget for hiring an additional?
yes, he's
Yeah,
replacing
he's replacing Lorena.
Lorena that quit last.
Yeah, okay, so this is the replacement. guy.
Yes, replacing.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Santi.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, L, consider an act upon the appointment of Luis Diaz as a reserve police officer. Richie.
Sorry, I don't have a little packet there. Lewis worked for us about 3.5 years ago. He graduated high school here, went to police academy, came on with us full-time, worked about a year, did a fine job. Got recruited away to the sheriff's department over in Ascot County, more money, da-da-da-da-da. After about 3.5 years, he kind of got tired of that. He wants to come back. He's doing some other stuff, but we'll bring him back on as a reserve. You know, if things work out, he could work himself into a full-time position. He's already been through I've done all the background stuff. The only thing is gonna be tentative on actually a sheet that I have to review his background, from the sheriff, his, employment packet from the sheriff's office. And this is based on a new law that just came into effect January 1. So nobody even really knows, you know, it's a form and so I've got to go to the sheriff's office and look at some stuff. So that's what I'm waiting on. Of course, when I call them, nobody's familiar with it when I started this process because it is January 1, the Law Enforcement Commission came up with this.
So you want him approved?
Well, it's approved tentative, I mean,
Tentatively,
I already
yeah.
know his background, it's just me, I just don't wanna tell you that, I mean, till I tentatively, till I physically look at it, or an officer looks at it and I can sign off and send it to T-Pole, it'll just be tentative, the background.
Background.
Yeah, but everything else, he's done physical, drug screen, polygraph.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. You have a motion?
Second.
Second? All those in favor? I'm sorry, discussion?
Are we gonna add a proviso there upon review of work from the sheriff's office?
Yeah, upon completion of the background would probably be the
I
appropriate
think
word.
that's what, Josie,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
catch that?
Yeah, I thought that's what Sam's motion was, hired as per chief's recommendation, right?
So what is this new form that they added?
So it all has to do with, the background, with, trying to stop these gypsy cops working 5 or 6 small towns, and they go somewhere that, especially right now, people need help so bad. Agencies are hiring people that they shouldn't be hiring, okay? And the state already did something years ago to try to make you more responsible. Well, now they can put it to the new level. January 1, it was gonna be a website we'd have to upload this to. It does not exist yet, so we're having to actually fill the form out manually, send it, email it to the Law Enforcement Commission. And it's just a brand new deal. We've never done it, and unless a law enforcement agency's hired someone since January 1st, they've never done it. So it is brand new. The forms were even on the website until like January 1st. We didn't know what to look for. So that's what it is. It's just to confirm, so I don't tell you, hey, I know this guy, he's a good guy, but in reality, he's been fired from 10 places. He's a friend of mine. Now, if I falsify that, then it's a criminal offense against me and the person that signs off that they did the background, both of us. So it's a good tool. For us, it's not a big deal because, we're one of the few agencies around here, we polygraph our applicants. I mean, so it's not an issue with us. But for places that are a little, so that kind of answer your question.
Yeah, I mean, what I got is you're on top of things, I mean, and it's a good benefit, and you already know this guy too, so I.
Yeah, he's a Lytle High School graduate. Whenever he
Well, that don't mean a whole lot though, chief.
Well,
Well, after all, Charles.
Come on, you too, right? It's like, you're talking to a lot of high school graduates, we know the value of that education.
I can almost make a complete sentence.
Yeah, almost.
Any other further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks, Richard.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Okay, M, consider an act upon the employment status of Grant Van.
Grant's completed his probationary period. I recommend that we hire him on full time and give him $1.50 an hour raise.
How much would that be total?
$1.50 an hour raise, so that'll raise him from $14.50 to $16.
To 16?
And council, this is the same amount that when we hired him, we actually annotated as part of the completion of the probation. It's the exact same amount, so we had actually already.
I'll go ahead and move that we follow the suggestion of our superintendent here, Public Works. At,
I was gonna say, sorry, I was gonna second that.
that's it.
We got a second? Any further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Please pass our congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, consider an act upon the proposal of maintenance of septic tanks at animal control facility. Hunty,
You have that in your package, that dated tonight, the addition.
Hunty, you want to talk a little bit about it?
It was something that was actually required. The septic, new septic tank that we had put in, that it was required that it get maintenance by someone certified in that. But it was never done when it was put in, so now we're doing it to make sure we cover ourselves, because it's supposed to get passed by the state inspection. In Medina County, is that correct, Mayor, how you were saying it?
Yes,
So it's something that needs to be done.
so it's through the county,
Yes.
the county to do that, Council, just so you know, the little background on that one, though, when we actually had the individual or the company come out and inspect, what did they find with their systems?
There was a part that was broken, an aerator, I can't pronounce that word. Aerator. It's like a little, this little part, plastic part, it broke, and that's what controls the smell. Like when it sprays out, it takes away the odor.
But in the sense of the integrity of the system?
It's pretty, everything's good. But it just needs to be maintained by someone.
So are they gonna fix this
They
area?
fixed it
They
already, they
fixed
fixed it already.
Okay.
So
And what came out of the pumping of the tanks?
he said, we opened one tank, he said it looks good, doesn't need to be pumped yet. But that's something that he will look at if we go with the maintenance with him.
That's part of the maintenance.
Part of the
Checks
maintenance,
out.
yes, checks out everything.
Well, if I read it correctly, I think that's an extra charge. Whenever they pump, they will charge.
Oh,
us
yes,
No,
yeah,
he's gonna check to see.
but
Yes.
we'll check,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. But as of now, he said it's still good.
Will they actually do the pumping when it comes time for it?
Yes, I believe so, yes, he does.
Legally, can his contract, I'm just reading this, his agreement will automatically renew each year unless canceled by the animal care control facility. Can we do that?
We have a lot of open-end contracts.
It's, the thing is, Charles, is that it's just for a year, and we can cancel anytime during that year.
There's no penalties to that at all.
The reason that he's raising this issue is that if you go past a year, well, then it's considered a debt. And you have to have funds on hand. So, it's open-ended.
Yeah.
But you can terminate it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Council?
Tom, did you have a chance to look at this?
No.
Do you, should we have them approve it tentatively on your approval?
Sure, that's fine, I mean, that's what we do in the other.
That way we can
Yeah.
move. Okay.
That's a good call.
I move that we go ahead and tentatively, Lord, looking at it.
Okay, got a motion?
Sorry.
Second, okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
Here we go, Santi. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next one is Q, consider and act upon the renewal of delinquent tax collection contract. Josie.
Well, I've got it in your packet, this is the same one, I did change the date from Monday's date to today. The 20% that the delinquent tax attorney received is paid by the taxpayer. That's part of the, kind of like a penalty when they don't pay it in time. And they're notified, which is a requirement by the law, that they don't get it paid by the 30th of June the current year, they will take on the 20% attorney fees. So if the city doesn't pay any of this, the taxpayer does. So, Tom, are you interested in doing this again? I haven't heard otherwise, so.
Yes.
Council?
We do it every year.
It's something that's gotta be done every year.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Got a motion to go ahead and renew it? Got a second?
Sorry.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
I abstained from voting on this matter.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Now that you voted on it, I'd like to point out that the auditor did say we had a good tax collection rate. And that's a joint effort, I mean, Joseph puts a lot of effort into that, and we send out letters throughout the year, so we try hard. I mean, if you don't have that many delinquents, that's dollar amount. You may have a lot of them, but they're small.
Yeah.
And the filing fee is $330, sometimes they don't even know that much.
Roger that. Okay, well, thank you so much for that one. Okay, Cassandra.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider item 6J, consider an act upon hiring part-time library employees.
Okay, so council, let's go ahead and move back to Jay.
He was approved the motion, so I think he
Oh,
was
I got a
second.
motion, I'm sorry. Second? Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Come on up. Sandra, Jay, consider an act upon hiring part-time library employee.
Think up the waiting rooms.
We didn't get out of topic, sorry, we had two people still at the library, so. Okay. We had a total of 6 applicants, and out of the 6, we only did interviews with 5, and then I did a second round of interviews with 2 ladies, and it came down to those 2, and we'd like to recommend hiring Nicole Ramirez for the part-time position of 30 hours for $10 an hour, pending her background check and physical.
How much an hour?
10.
$10. How about after probation?
I didn't know what we had.
Is it the standard one?
Actually, when they're part-timers, we never really had a
Yeah.
probation
They
period.
don't?
Yeah, that's, I didn't think so.
Is that the standard salary you pay?
It was actually lower than that, but
Oh,
Yeah. You said her last name was Ramirez?
Yeah, I'm talk to you, but.
I go ahead and, make a motion to go ahead and approve Cassandra, our library director's pick for the part-time library.
Got a motion? Got a second? Any further discussion on that?
She complained on him about 6
All those
months.
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
What'd you tell me?
Good to go. All right. All right, here we go. R, consider an action on proposal from Peerless to purchase water, pumped water.
Go.
James. You're up. This is R with the Peerless making an offer to purchase our water.
They called me about 10 days ago. I believe they took everything we had out there except the pump. They took all the pipe that was from the original contract we had with the well, and they didn't take the motor because they said they only sell one a year at 125 horse. So he called me last week, about 10 days ago, and said he needed one. He offered us $7,000 for it. His deal was, he said it was worth $6,900, plus freight, but he gave us $7,000 for it.
And the reason we're selling that is because we need a big pump
He would put
to
$250
work,
on
and
it.
it work, so we need to get some money on it, and help pay for it.
We can use it for other.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you making a motion?
Yes, I do. I move that we go ahead and, sell that for $7,000 to Peerless.
Got a motion on the floor? Got a second? Further discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. I'll call him in the morning.
Give them a holler.
That's a pretty good down payment on another one.
Hmm? Yep, thank you. Okay, so, we had all those things right there. Okay, the last thing that we have is just informational items. Does anybody have anything? I just want to pass some information, but anything from you guys? Anybody want to share? Josie? Anything?
I think I have anything for you.
Nothing department heads, anything?
I don't think so.
Anything I'll be able to do that. Okay, some quick updates, just wanted to pass on, frontage road construction, TxDOT working on those. It's actually being moved to, right now, the tentative date is gonna be, the middle of February now. Instead of January, that's gonna be in the middle of the month. We are on the list now for the generator support, so that what we passed with Gravity. So we have an arrangement now, and since in case we need to go ahead and obtain that, let's hope that we keep the temperatures down. We don't have to worry about that. Today, Sam and I actually attended Commissioner's Court for Medina County, and we got the approval for us to go ahead and get 6843 and Twin Lakes actually closed. We got the approval. We got one of the commissioners that actually offered us to help us out with the signage on the south end, that they would take care of that portion of it. And then we had another commissioner that offered material, Commissioner Beck, for us to actually go look at his yard. He said he might have something. Is there anything I'm missing, Sam?
No, that was it. They were just asking, what kind of, gates or whatever we're gonna put on there.
So we'll have to sit down with Commissioner Lynch and talk a little bit of some of those details. But we got the support from the county to go ahead and move along that way. On the 15th of January, in the next couple of days, Josie will be celebrating 46 years of service. So congratulations, Josie. Today is Virginia's birthday, so I think she was off today, right?
Yeah.
So you see her in the next few days, please wish her. We also had Sergio earlier in the month that actually had that. I do ask for prayers for Matt Deere's family. You know, his mom Shirley had services here recently, but please, you know, pass on the prayers for strength as they're going through that. Also, some prayers for the Garcia Martinez Touch family, for Rosie, commonly known as Rosie, passed away. So prayers for them and the families too. And also some prayers for Wayne Hurl for speedy recovery. And hopefully we see him around our community here in the near future. Am I missing anybody or anything else we need to mention?
I just so that you know, Rosie did work with it in conjunction with the city years ago. She managed the Senior Citizens Nutrition Center, which was over at the Annex Building from 1983 to 92. Whenever they closed a few years ago, so she managed that for a long time.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
I just have a question. Just so they will know. The redistricting thing, is there an ordinance or something that goes along with that?
Yes, we'll have to draw it up now, didn't know what you guys are gonna pick.
Okay, do we need to move on that, or is it?
Well, I'll draw it up, present it to the mayor.
Okay, so we don't need it.
Yeah, that was part of the motion though, to adopt an ordinance.
Okay.
With that plan, so we'll have to come back with that 2 weeks or whenever we need to be, 10 days.
So we can go ahead and use the map when people start filing on the 19th, right?
I think so.
Even
Yeah.
without-
Dave, we'll have that ordinance signed, I'll bring it in today, you guys have already passed it tonight. So
Yeah, so all I gotta do is just sign
Oh,
it.
that's
But it would be effective today's date, right?
That's right.
That just, it's in my mind, we need to do it.
All right, anything else? Okay, can I get a motion for us to conclude our meeting? It's 7:22 right now.
All right.
It's too early.
Are you sure?
I'll move that we adjourn the meeting here.
Is this a dream or am I
I have a
blind?
motion, do I have a second? Got a second? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you, appreciate it.
Josie,
How do you wanna do this?
And stream.
Oh, I talked to the lady.
Close. Now I know how fast y'all can move.
Thank you.
In.
Jerry, thank you. Appreciate it.